Hey, everybody, guess what? We made it through another month. And what does that mean? Well, we have the market update. And Mareen's been putting a lot of thought into this, a lot of work crunching them numbers. Ain't easy. And we're going to talk with her in just a second, right after this. Hey, everybody, Dave Edwards, Treasure Valley Dave here. You know, your great real estate agent by your side when it comes time to buy a home, sell home, or relocate to the Treasure Valley. And you're going to relocate to the Treasure Valley or sell your home or even just buy a home. You want to know what the market's doing. Hi, Mareen.
Hey,
Wow. So the market did something this last month that we're updating, right?
yeah, yeah, it did a little bit. Not too exciting, but it did something.
Well, sometimes in today's world, not too exciting is pretty good.
That's very true. There's
Wow.
some good news in there. Yes.
Some good news. Oh, do tell. What did you see in there?
I think the overall was kind of interesting to see. We saw a lot more inventory. We saw more pending homes, also more sold homes, but also that prices just came down just a little bit. I think that's good news.
And that's all reflected on these sheets that you put together that people can go right here to this URL and download their own copy. Comes out every single month. And there is a lot of good news, good information on there. I would say the first thing I see is that we have more inventory in both Ada County and Canyon County.
Yeah, more inventory. That means for our buyers, you have a lot more options to choose from. I think that's good news.
You know, I would think so. Yeah. So, and I'm seeing that prices in Canyon County, this is really kind of funny, is that it is 415 this month. Previous month is 425. Previous month is 416. Previous month 425. So just like it just keeps just a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And you know what? Still at what we are today, well, even at the 425, we're below the national average of 431. So at 415, you're actually getting a pretty good deal here in the Canyon County.
Yeah, still a great deal. I agree. I agree.
While Canyon County, I'm looking at your numbers and it says that the days on market are 32. Seems like last month they were closer to, say, 40.
Yep, that is correct. So days on market have, especially for the existing home side, no, because those days on market is both of them together, and an average of that. But on the existing home side, days on market has shortened quite a bit.
And so that means, well, I mean, so with more inventory, you would think there'd be more houses. So with more houses, they'd be sitting around a little bit longer. So there must be something else going on.
There's always something going on right now.
Ah, and according to your bar chart here, it looks like this whole year our pendings have been going up month after month, as well as our actual solds, and that would be both Canyon and Ada County.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty steady. It hasn't really changed a lot here. I know that other markets are experience a very different at the moment. Here, it still seems to be a spot where people want to be. Um, Even with uncertainty and the whole economy, and nobody knows how is it all going to play out at the end. But Idaho is still a great place where people want to be.
So you're in Idaho right now, right?
I am in Idaho in my backyard.
Excellent. Because I was wondering, it's like some tropical paradise there. Well, it is supposed to get pretty warm today. Um, I'm also noticing that Canyon County, if you know, money is, I mean, we're all on a budget, but the cheapest place was over in Southwest Caldwell at 384.9. So that's well below the national average and it's well below 400.
Yeah, Yeah. And then we also had a very interesting shift for Ada County. If somebody wants to be close to Boise or even live in Boise because they work there, there is a spot. It's called Boise Bench, which is a very trendy spot. It's very close to everything, where actually for the first time, the average or the median home price is under 500,000.
I'm looking at 469.9. That's awesome. And if you've never been to Boise, the bench is so called the bench because we have the Boise River that goes right by downtown, which is at like this elevation. And then the hill comes up and it's like at this elevation, and they call this part the bench. So you're just like this close to downtown. If you need to get downtown for the nightlife, you got a boogie or whatever, or maybe you work down there too. That bench is the spot to be.
Yeah, yeah, you will see for sure older homes there. You're not going to get the new construction. It's all a little bit older.
And then, of course, with an older home, I think our buyers would be well advised to go ahead and get a home inspection to make sure that there's nothing that needs to be fixed that isn't readily observable.
Yeah.
Uh,
I also would say the quality of homes that are coming on the market, and I'm not sure if we already mentioned that last month as well. We're getting really nice homes on the market. Not so it's I not necessarily only people selling that are needing to sell for whatever maintenance because they can't keep up with the maintenance. It's really, I see beautiful homes come on the market priced fairly good.
didn't you just help our clients get into one of those beautiful homes here in South Nampa?
I know, we're so excited.
Yeah, an absolute gorgeous home. And you even negotiated down the price. It was like 35,000 from the asking price. I thought that was great. I'm pretty sure our buyers are happy about that. Let's see. What do you see for the future? Do you see interest rates coming down? I know that's been one of those subjects that people are always curious about.
Mm. I'm not counting on it. That's the short answer. I'm not counting on it. I would not expect it to happen. A lot of other things would need to happen first. And so, no. I do expect still to see more inventory and maybe a few more buyers. We had a very interesting early start for the spring buying season. And it's typically would need to pick up now.
Hmm.
In May, this is kind of like where we're gonna get very hot here, May and June. Um, but I could imagine that it's gonna slow down a little bit more.
Hmm. May is kind of our peak time, and we're looking at April numbers, and April numbers are compared to the previous month, March. It's like everything just keeps going up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But by
It's
June and July, it could kind of level off.
Yeah, it's other states and other towns have already experienced in April that it slowed down. I just think here we might, like I said, it's a maybe. It's a maybe. More inventory, more to look at, better prices. That's what I'm hoping for.
So I just saw a story. Actually, I did a video on it in California because there's a couple refineries that are moving out of state, and that's going to put more pressure on gas prices to go to like $8.50 a gallon. When those kind of crazy things happen in California or Washington State or wherever, is that going to push more people to the Treasure Valley?
Every time something comes up like that, yes.
You've noticed quite a few of our clients are from California, haven't you? Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
sorry, guys, didn't mean to out you on that. But I came from California. The market's just kind of like on autopilot. Oh, we were talking about interest rates. I did see one of our builders. So last month we had a builder that had an incentive to for the entire length of the mortgage for the buyer was 4.99. And they don't have that this month. So that's telling me that those builders, those sellers, they don't need to offer those kind of incentives that are really kind of comes out of the builder's pocket, and so they don't need to do that anymore, and they're not. However, I did see this month that we do have another builder, not the big one that everybody knows about, but a smaller one that is offering the 4.99. So it's getting harder to find, but there's still some help out there. Um, Speaking of help, first time home buyers, is there any kind of help for them?
Yes, absolutely. There's great programs out there, and that's where it's time. If you are a first-time home buyer, make that phone call to us. We have a great lender we can get you to find out what your options are.
And just to tell a story here, we were recently involved with a transaction. It was first time home buyers, and the seller was in a position that, they didn't need all the money out of it. And they were giving some great seller concessions to the buyers because they're first time home buyers. They were, they just made that emotional connection. So it's not always about, you need a program or something like that, but sometimes we'll find buyers that really want to help pay it forward and help out with some of the closing costs or repairs or things like that. So, let's have those conversations and let's see if that could be you next time.
Yeah, I think it all depends. Yes, it depends on the situation of the seller, of the buyer, and I think the communication between the agents.
How's your communication?
I love to actually talk to the agent and not just text.
I was just looking at all of our Google 5-star reviews, and there's just one after the other that talks about Mareen and how great that she was at communicating. And some of those are actually from other agents too. So there's the secret sauce right there. Not all the other agents are going to do that for you. Mareen will. And I'm going to do my best. Mareen's a good teacher. Any last thoughts that we need to know about the market before we let you get on with your sunny afternoon?
Oh, just be prepared, be ready. And if you're considering it, and if you've been thinking about it, and you've been waiting for 2 years for prices to come down 100,000 or interest rates to come down back to 3%, I'm not expecting any of that to happen. So let's find out what kind of options you have and how we can help you find your Idaho. Even if you're already in Idaho and you're currently renting, or if you're in whichever other state you are, we would be happy to help you find your Idaho.
And just to put some gravy on the biscuit, if you do get into a place and the rates are 6.5 and they do drop to 3, guess what you could do? Refinance.
Like everybody else is going to do it.
Exactly. Wow. Well, thanks for the update, Mareen. Remember, you guys can get a copy of Mareen Sheets right there at that URL right there, and check them out, download them yourself. Also, make sure you sign up for our weekly newsletter. So when things like these market updates come out or some other interesting information about real estate or living in the Treasure Valley come out, you're going to know about it. I send out a newsletter that I write myself. I don't pay somebody in some other country to do it. It's all me. And gosh, thanks for coming along today. And guess what? We will see you guys on the next video.
Yeah.